Hi, welcome to my channel. In my last video, I had issues with these duck bills fitting my wood stocks. I need to resolve that before I could actually take them to the range and test them for reliability. Now I have two choices. I could either file the duck bills or file the mag wells of the wood stock. And I chose to do the wood stock. And simply because I had only two of the stock to do, the Russian and the Chinese, and I didn't have to do the Yugo, and there's just too many duck bills to file. Plus, the filing is internal, so you won't be able to see it. As opposed to filing these, you would clearly see the modification. And here is what I need to do. I needed to increase the internal diameter by about 2 millimeter, and there was a ridge here that ran diagonally, and I just with this Russian, it's refurbished, and so I used a box cutter, and I just basically sliced off some of the wood, and as you can see, it's now flush with this lower part right here. I used the box cutter for this. And on the Chinese, I used a hand file. I used a rasp first, and then I used a smoother hand file. And as you can see, same thing. 1 millimeter removal wood on either side. It pained me to do this because this is unissued stock, but luckily there's plenty of these unissued stock that arrived recently. Okay, so next I have to put them back onto the rifle receiver and then check out the fitment, and I'll be back. I am back. Now that I have the woods back into the receivers, I reinserted the mags into the new opening, and they all fitted except for the Baur Arms wouldn't fit the Chinese. No problem with the Russian, no problem with the Yugo. And I didn't want to increase the width anymore, so I'm going to leave that out of the range test. While they were inserted, I checked for function by manually cycling the bolts, and I ran into a couple of other issues. Here, I put them on a chart. This is the list of Duckbill Mags. C stands for Chinese, R stands for Russian, Y stands for Yugo. And what I did, I checked for fitting, bolt closure, and the BHO. In the case of the Baur Arms, it did not fit the Chinese, so that's an X. And but I had no problem fitting the Russian and the Yugo. Bolt closure, no problem with the Russian and the Yugo. BHO, function with the Russian and the Yugo. The issues was with the steel mags, the Promag steel, the triple case steel. They fitted into the new opening without any problem on all three. It wouldn't close, the Promag steel wouldn't close, the bolt wouldn't close easily on that, and the BHO worked on all three. In the case of triple case steel, it fitted into the new opening without any problem. However, bolt closure did not close smoothly with the Chinese, and with the Russian, it did close smoothly with the Yugo, and the BHO did not function on all three, which makes it difficult to insert and remove of the magazines. Now, I know that these duck bills are like the AK-47. It's best work with modified bolts, but I don't have a spare bolt to modify, and I didn't want to modify the bolts on these rifles. So till I get one, I won't be doing that. So I'll be doing it the harder way. But without the BHO working, it makes it more difficult to remove and insert the magazines. Okay, so now why did I had difficulty with bolt closures and with the steels? Let me show you what the problem was. Let's check out the Promag steel. Okay, I gotta insert that in. See, now with the BHO activated on the Chinese, it's easier to insert the duckbill instead of holding this back manually and then trying to insert the magazine at the same time. Okay, this is okay, it fitted right there. Okay. Now the Promag steel fit into the Chinese, no problem. Now to release the bolt, I have to press on the follower to lower down the BHO and then release the bolt. And this is where the problem was. Okay, it got hung up on the magazine lips. So now I've got to bring that back, activate the BHO again, and use this hand to pull on the mag release and check out what the issue was. Visually, I can't see what was the problem with those lips. So I measured it and I checked the back of the opening. It was about 8 millimeter and the front was about 7. So that tells me that these lips are too close in the front. Now it doesn't look like it was damaged. Looks like that's the way it came from the factory, and it was bought brand new, and so was the triple K was bought brand new. And if they are susceptible to the lips getting bent, then why are they shipping them in plastic bags? They should be in boxes. Okay, now this one may be bent. Let me check the measurements. Yes, 7 in the back, 8 in the front. Let me check the plastic. It looks like 9 front and back. So these lips may be bent, and they may be bent out of the factory, if not somewhere between the handling from the dealer to my place. They got bent. They are susceptible to being bent, and I didn't want to fuddle with them, because in the past I used to have steel mags, aftermarket ones, and by the time you keep fuddling with it, it never works properly. So I'm going to keep that out of the tests at the range. I'm going to try the triple K. Okay, the triple K fitted into the receiver of the Chinese, no problem. When I pull this back, the BHO dropped, and yeah, I can feel it's rubbing against the lips. So that's not going to work either. However, when I try to reactivate the BHO, it is not working. What it is working, it's running to the back of the follower. I don't know if you can see it, but it's being hung up at the back of the follower. So the BHO is not working. It's not coming back up. Oh, actually I can see it. I can actually see it. The magazine's all the way up, and it's past the catch of the BHO. So that's not going to work. It's going to make it a little difficult for me to remove the magazine while still holding the bolt back. I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to pull the bolt back and pull the latch, and yeah, that makes it a little difficult at the range. So I'm not going to take the steel mags. I'm not going to test them out at the range. I'm just going to take the other 4 and test them at the range, and I'll be back with the results of that.
The Chinese, this doesn't fit. Tapco, Intrafuse. Tapco, regular. Archangel. Oh, stovepipe again. Russian, Baur Arms. Tapco, Intrafuse. Tapco, regular. Archangel. Uh-oh. One issue. You go. Baur Arms. Tapco, Intrafuse. Tapco, regular. Tapco Archangel. No problems with the Archangel and the Yugo. Archangel, Vinyl, Chinese, one round, not fired. Russian, the Vinyl, and the Archangel. Jam. One round, not fired. Archangel, round 2 with the Yugo. The Vinyl ammo. One round was unfired.
I'm back from the range. In summary, I didn't take the steel mags because the lips was easily bent out of shape, and I had bolt closure issues with them. And you can actually see why they get bent easily. I compare that to the Yugo AK mags and the Type 81 AK mags. Not only are the steels thicker, but it's also reinforced. It's doubled up. And look at this triple K lips. It's just a very single sheet, and it's a rather thin one. So that's why I had, from the past, I had a lot of difficulties with these aftermarket steel mags. And the more you fuddle with them, the worse it gets. So I didn't take them to the range. I took these 4 vinyl ones and I shot an average of 60 rounds per mag. This is the summary. Okay. And red ink means fire. As you know, the Baur Arms do not fit the Chinese, so that's a dash. No problems with the Russian and the Yugo. Promag, of course, I didn't take it to the range. Tapco Interfuse, no issues. Tapco regular, no issues. Here's the surprise. Archangel Vinyl, lots of problems. A lot of fail to feed, rounds jumping out of the action or getting stuck in the action. That's a surprise. I didn't think it would be a problem, so therefore I'm not recommending Archangel. And of course the triple K steel, I didn't take it to the range. So in conclusion regarding this SKS myth that duckbills are junk, not all of them are junk. As you can see from this test at the range, Some of them are actually very good, and yet some of them are junk. So that concludes my tests and about the Duckbill Mags in the SKS. Please hit the like button and subscribe.